Oh yeah, sexy biscuits. Nice.
Long boys blues, 1975. YouTubers on the rise. Reviewing games late at night and sometimes friends. But Long boys blues, 1975.
Hey YouTube, Longboys Post 1975, and welcome to an update video, an update on these bad boys, my video spyglasses that I was very kindly sent by a subscriber a couple of weeks ago, and I did a video of with basically filming out and about in one location, which was Tesco's, in the middle of the night, and I completely and utterly forgot I had them. Mainly because they were left on the side with my car keys and stuff like that, and it's a testament to how utterly normal a pair of glasses they look. I'm going to put them on because it's better than holding them in my hands. They look, and so yeah, I just completely forgot I had them. And because I decided today, for no other reason than I hadn't been there, probably the last time I went there was 2 years ago. You know the out of town shopping malls? In this case, the Mall. I hate it when they do that. Rubs temple, even though he's rubbing his hands. The Mall. It's a mall. Call it the Mall. It's an out-of-town shopping mall in Bristol. We have, see, malls were relatively recent-ish thing, or the 90s in my town. I mean, we had big stores like Toys R Us, but they were just like a huge out-of-town store, whereas this is a collection of mini stores. Why am I explaining this to you? You all know what a shopping mall is. Anyway, so we had the galleries in downtown Bristol, which kicked in the 90s, and then in the early 90s, I should say, and then in the late 90s, we had the Mall. Again, stupidest name in the world. We're going to make ourselves sound posh and set ourselves apart from all the other shopping malls because we're going to be called the Mall, even though it's spent exactly the same as mall. Pretentious much? Anyway, so it kicked in the late 90s, kicked in 1998, and I think the first time I ever went there was to buy a dual analog controller for my PlayStation to play Gran Turismo. I don't mean the Dual Shock, because that came later. Initially, it was just a dual analog. It had hollowed out sticks on the ends, no rumble, and you know, didn't have like the rubberized control pad parts on the sticks. I don't know why I'm explaining this to you, but I remember it vividly. And ever since then, I can count on both hands the number of times I've been to the Mall. Anyway, because I've always found it underwhelming as much now as I did then. I find it's, you know, there's far too many shops for its size, and it's, considering we're Bristol, we're a working class city, even though this is on the outskirts and stuff like that, it's got no kind of grounded, down-to-earth, niche little cool shops. It's all pretentious, upper, you know, echelon, price-wise of shops and stuff like that, which to me is kind of pointless in Bristol. Anyway, I don't want to go into the politics of shopping malls in my neck of the woods, but yeah, so I thought I'd go there for like the first time in 2, maybe 3 years, and I thought, I'll take these. I'll take these and I'll give them a go. And also I stopped at a place on the way. I stopped at a toy store deliberately because I was talking to someone online and they said they got a really good selection of Funko. So I took these and I thought I'll give them a little update and maybe bang together a little video so those of you who are thinking of buying them can see how they actually perform when I use them a little more than in a supermarket. And also I'm out and about in daylight, albeit very briefly, so you can see stuff like that. God, I've waffled when all I should have said was, hey, here's an update on these. I've used them a bit more. Let's have a look at some of the footage. I'll possibly do an audio commentary and then let's round up at the end. There you go. So let's have a look. So here we are. We're out in broad daylight. We're not actually at the Mall yet. We're in a other sort of little estate area of other shops on the way to it. This is a toy store called Smith's, spelled with a Y, or Smythe, I don't know, but worked pretty good in, you know, an overcast day and outside. And then we go inside, and while it looks bright here, it's not as well lit as my last video when I went to Tesco's, but again, they work really well. And I've got the noise on the actual video kind of low, but there wasn't that much music. But yeah, it's a toy store. I've got reasonable selection of games. This is the pre-order area. Does anyone know what this is?
Skywalker Legacy. I don't know. It can't be as bad as the movies, but immediately you'll notice that you still easy chart selection, both Xbox One and PlayStation 4, but you still got to be really, really aware of your head movements, which might illustrate odd behavior to anyone else around you. But yeah, so kind of thrashing. Apologies for the motion sickness, but that's why I did know one of these videos to see if it was just from the first one. But yeah, this is a reasonable store, by the way. Really, really massive selection. Look how stuff goes from the floor right to the ceiling. There'll be ladders and stuff in place, but I don't know, if it's in trouble or not, but Toys R Us suffered a fate, but it's not amazingly priced. Although I did pick up a John Wick Funko for a tenner, which is kind of cool. These Funkos are awesome. They're huge. You probably all know about them, but I just want the Spyro one. Anyway, again, thrashing around, got to be very, very controlled if you want to use these for the purpose of not just filming in the wild, but letting the viewer or the participant on the video see what you're actually kind of trying to show them. But yes, it's why I went here. They have a massive wall of Funkos. You probably think it's not, but unless you go to a specialist hobby store, this is a toy store, it's not. The ladder's a bit of a pain in the ass, but that's because they go right to the ceiling. Someone said, dude, try Smith's or Smythe's, whatever, if you want to try and pick up specific Funkos, and they're all pretty much priced to a tenner, so I was quite impressed with that. But yeah, now that and I'm not even trying to, stuff I got to remember when I use these again, because I do intend to, but when you're looking around, not so much leisurely or making sure you're not walking people and stuff like that, because you're just staring at products, apart from that bit there, they're not bad. They're really, really not bad. Obviously, this is my thoughts afterwards, but yeah, really, really, if you want Funkos, go to Outtown Bristol, Cribs Causeway, really good selection. WWE, they've got pretty decent selection of Transformers, die-cast cars and stuff like that. Here's what I found funny. They got figures still from Rampage. Am I the only person who thinks, I forget what character he is, he just looks like an unpainted Kong? But yeah, this is a really good place. Again, it's the it's hard to explain because you forget, and I'll touch upon this at the end of the video. I do like these Transformer figures, but should they really cost £23, or 24 quid, 23.99? I don't know, but this is where it really shows up. I'm not. I'm thinking I'm looking directly forward, but obviously you'll see a lot of the ceiling. It's going to take a lot of refinement for these, but you can't really hear it back there. You may have heard hissing, but I turned the sound down. The microphone is really good. It's not picking up static. It's picking up the sound of the waterfall, which came across as kind of hissing noise, but pretty big building. And something else I want to touch upon is I don't know how fixed or focused the cameras on these things, but really long distance, which is really kind of impressive. But yeah, we'll go into game in a minute, but I just quickly want to touch upon why I don't like the Mall. Is we're a working class city. Yeah, I don't know if there is a story down, but there used to be a Tesla shop in it. I mean, who can afford a Tesla in Bristol? And everything in it, it's not like little small niche cool shops and stuff like that, and indies and things like that. I guess you could argue the floor rent does that, but I know I'm talking about the Mall again. But it's all these high-end, expensive shops that you would argue aren't the preserve of your average working-class Bristolian shopper. Anyway, game, look there. Don't sell your phone to game. You get absolutely ripped off. But I will say this. I don't know, how big Smiths is compared to Game. I mean, Game's fallen apart, way since a couple of years ago. But their game selection is probably, with the exception of second-hand, I'll get to that, is probably a lot smaller than the toy store. They have a reasonable selection of Funkos, but I do remember when I picked up the John Wick one here, I was like, yes, well, mine was £3 cheaper just down the road. But all in all, again, when you stand and you're looking at stuff, I look above the Forrest Gump figure I picked up, which I didn't buy. So yeah, I've really got to work out where to focus or where to keep my head level for using these things in the wild. Still so much to learn about using these, which is why I did this update follow-up video. It's by no means, it's still a work in progress using them. I still intend to use them. I think I'm really going to have to keep them on and do a few more of these just for me to review afterwards to see how they perform. Don't really want Lego in a game store, but here's what I mean. This is that chunk to the right, to the spines, is second-hand games, but other than that, it's smaller than Smith's. Oh well, this kind of gives a feeling on what I think of these things, so I'm going to wrap up now in the end of this video.
Basically, I'm pretty much on the same conclusion as I came to before. The limitations of the glasses come down to you and not fully appreciating your head movements and your eye movements when you're wearing the glasses. For the brief moments I was outside, they perform really well in daylight. And then when you go into, because obviously Smith's, the toy store, that was kind of dark, you know, it wasn't natural light and stuff like that. It's not a massively illuminated place, but you would not know it from that footage. And also the same can be said for when I go to the mall, you know, because it's much bigger open spaces. Considering they're such cheap glasses and obviously it's a very cheap camera here, how far it goes into the background, you might want to pause it to see that, if you can keep up with not getting motion sickness. It's really impressive, as is the mic. And also when I was in the, wow, I'll stop doing that in a minute. It picks up the ambient noise really well. It even picks up the echo, which I was quite surprised with. And it's something else, because I kind of know where the camera is now, but you seem to forget that you've got to emphasize your head movement to get the best out of these, which kind of may defeat the purpose of spyglasses, because if you're really being, you know, slow and deliberate and robotic like that, not only going to look like a knockoff Terminator twat, but you might give away that something is suspect about your glasses. But then, you know, because you've got to remember you're moving a camera, whereas it weren't glasses that are fixing, you know, if you wear glasses, that are fixing any sort of, you know, imperfection in your sight. You'll have the glasses in front of you, but you'll move your eyes like that. So you forget that often when you are picking up stuff, I touched upon this before, but now I've used them and went back through the footage, because I did edit some of it to get rid of some of the pointless bits where I was staring at the floor and stuff like that. But yeah, you forget that so much of where you are looking is not determined, you know, it's subtle eye movements. You don't really have to move your eyes particularly far and stuff like that to completely change the direction of your vision. Whereas if you're filming with spyglasses, you really have to kind of lock your eyes forward. This sounds stupid, but if you've got spyglasses, this will make sense. Lock your eyes forward and then slowly, really slowly and deliberately move your head. So there is still a lot of stuff footage wise in this, you know, like this is the proper big second time I've used these, because I have taken them out before, but like a numpty I forgot to charge them. But so you've got to remember that you've really got to emphasize the glasses over eye movement for when you're picking up stuff or you're concentrating on stuff that you want to show up, you know, such as games you're picking up, movies and toys and stuff like that. Will I still recommend them? Hell yes, 29 quid, utterly fantastic. I guess it's something that, to get the best out of them, I really need to get used to, like I said, the slow emphasis of head movement. That sounded awkward. Anyway, so yeah, just a little update, because a few people have asked me, you know, have you used them out and about since? And yeah, I still really like them. The limitations of the glasses are down to how you or I, the user, uses them. You know, if you want to use them as a viable tool for pickup videos, then you have to become completely familiar and comfortable with, you know, knowing that it's not, you know, that you have something on your face and it is that you must point at stuff, rather than just try and act natural and normal and just go about your business using your eyes. Because then ultimately it's, because there is a lot of motion sickness inducing shit in that, I understand that, but like I said, it probably makes more sense if you've ever used video glasses. But as always, particularly if you bought a pair of these since you saw my last video, I would love to know what you think, and thank you very much for watching. Debonair, and I'll see you later.